What up, YouTube? We are back with another Warcraft Rumble video, and in this one we are taking on heroic Cenarius. We just unlocked Cenarius as a leader, but now we're taking him on as a heroic leader in our Moonglade campaign. Now, before we get into this video, I do want to give a quick shout out to Blizzard and Warcraft Rumble for sponsoring today's video, as well as the overall channel. Thank you guys so much. And now let's get straight into Cenarius. This fight can be a little tricky, in fact, very tricky. He prioritizes air over ground, which is a very important thing to keep in mind. But before we get into that, let's talk about the deck that we're going to be utilizing. And you can of course utilize this same deck across multiple different families. So we're going to be using the Alliance first. As you can see, we're using Tyrion just because he's a nice, just generic tank that's good for most things. We're going to use our Defiled Bandits with the Poisonous Claws, if you will, with the deadly poison, which does give them seemingly poisonous claws. It's just a really cheap, good cycle unit. We're going to use our Safe Pilot with Coming in Hot because we're partnering that with our Sheep. The Polymorph will then cover a golden fleece on one target. Killing it will then make it so you get 1 gold back, making it basically a 2-cost card or deck, if you will, a mini. But more importantly, these 2 minis are what you're going to want to use the most. That's going to be Earth Elemental and Harpies. The Harpies will be targeted over the Earth Elemental, but that'll just allow Earth Elemental to just keep doing damage, and then for you to get the rest of your minis to catch up. Ideally, you would have Earth Elemental with the Taunt talent, which is right here, ready to rumble. Unfortunately, I don't have it, so we're going to be showing you how to beat this without having the ideal talent, which is probably good. And then the only other mini I'm using is going to be Witch Doctor with the Spirit Ward. Witch Doctor is just generically an overall very strong 2-cost air and ground attacking mini, so that's why we use them. Now let's go ahead and jump straight into it and talk about Cenarius as the fight itself. So before we actually start the fight, there are 2 chests there that you can notate and 2 different towers. We have the Rocket Tower and the Dragon Tower. We're basically going to ignore the Dragon Tower. There's going to be a lot of healing being done by Cenarius. His passive, it will actually heal the entire map. So you're going to want to use Polymorph once their units get clustered together, and then come in hot with the Safe Pilot in order to really clear out the field. Because if you don't, you'll actually be taking a ton of damage from the minis, because they're just going to swarm, they're just going to overwhelm you, because they will get that passive heal just throughout A, the fight, and B, even after you lose your minis, they will be healing as they're on their way to your turret. So it's really critical that you win decisively when you go into fights, but then also you want to make sure you pick the right fights in general. So our general fight is going to be right here in the beginning. Right here, we're going to sort of wait and then get a little bit of a death ball going, and then Polymorph, and then Safe Pilot. After that, we want to make sure we get this meeting stone. That way we can try to control the gold nodes. We're going to be taking a beating, however, from this turret, which is what it is. But if you get, once you get this meeting stone, that's how we're going to be pushing down to Cenarius for the rest of the fight. And there's a little corner where you can see in this basically top right quadrant where you can actually not cheese it, but you can actually outrange would be the proper phrase. You can outrange the rocket turret because, well, it's out of range. And then you can get your minis going and basically just leave it as is. You could try to take this one to give you more room to summon, but we'll see how the fight plays out. Again, I don't have the ideal talent, so we're going to be going into this with probably a more free-to-play friendly team, I would say, because we don't have the ideal talent. So let's go ahead and get straight to it. All right. So he's starfiring the base. That's nice. How nice of him. All right, let's go ahead and get that going. All right, so once again, they are pushing. I think a little early on the respawn. Okay. Let's do this, and then we'll just come in hot these 2. These guys are no joke. Dang, dude, the healing is nuts. All right. Yep. Cool. So we're gonna get that gold. We're gonna get that turret. We just can't get hit by anything else. Yikes. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and get this then real quick. This is more of a damage and stop the bleeding, if you will, down there. Okay, so we got that. Cool, we got that one too. So he's going to prioritize my flyings, but I hopefully can just overwhelm him. Yeah, this looks good. So nice little death ball. Again, it's very hairy in the beginning, but once you get the death ball pushed up, it's fine. Now you can see where our our witch doctor played a huge part of that, because his shield killed a little mini and then shielded everyone else to keep my harpies alive. You can do the same thing with a lot of different minis, but honestly, just as long as you get that death ball going and have harpies with the poison, you'll be in good shape. All right, so we're gonna try this again with a different deck and see how it goes. We're gonna go with our Black Rock deck, and we're using Rend, of course, for it. Now, again, a little bit more air units with Rend, so obviously he's gonna be targeted once he gets near Cenarius, but that's fine. We're gonna work through that right now. All right, so same goal overall, just different deck. Oh, they actually changed the deck. Interesting. All right. Did a lot less damage than I would have wanted it to. Well, probably didn't need to polymorph that, but that's fine. And this is where things are going to get a little hairy, I think, for my deck. All right, cool. That actually played out really well for us. Now we're going to get that deck there. Okay. Let's go ahead and have him start beating on that. All right, now we got our death ball going, so it feels like we're going to be in decent shape. Ooh, except for that, it's going to hurt us. Oh, no, okay, cool. We stopped it. Again, we knew Rend was going to get targeted, but that's fine. Rend is now turning into a beefy tank for us, which is good. Let's just shut that down with a polymorph, and that should be GG's. Boom. Again, Rend is a flying unit that was targeted, so for Blackrock, I would highly recommend using Rend because he's flying, he will be targeted first, and then he'll just turn into a beastly tank for you, or do a ton of damage to you. So, highly recommend Rend. He made that super duper easy. But that's basically the fight, guys. Cenarius can be very scary if you don't know the mechanics and don't know how to work around them, which is, I guess, fair to any and all topics, I guess you could say. But honestly, I highly recommend using Rend for the Black Rock Alliance, or family, if you will, and then really anyone else for any other families. But he's the one that I thought for sure I'd want to test in this video. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. I hope to see you guys in a video soon. And before I leave, thank you once again to Warcraft Rumble and Blizzard for sponsoring today's video. And I hope to see you guys in a video soon. Take it easy.